I think the other thing that institutes of international cultural relations can do, and which is where I think a large part of my institute's agenda is going to be, is to do an exhumation of when we had these liberal values, why didn't they work out? If they were so great, then why do we find ourselves in the middle of the second decade of the 21st century when we thought we had gotten past? Why are we back to that moment where the politics culturally has become so divisive? So what happened? And one of the ways I think we can do that is by perhaps questioning where the earlier values came from. Now, were they values born of everyday interactions? I think that's what Tocqueville was referring to when he says neighbors talk to neighbors. Or were they values which were dictated on from high and perhaps didn't trickle down as well as we thought they had? No? So that's, I think.
And that, of course, means that you need a leader who will believe in those values and transmit them to, in the case of a politician, to the voters.
You can, and I think that's...
If it's from on high, that is to say.
I think that's how we did it in the past.
Yeah.
That we had leaders who propagated a certain set of values. Fortunately for us, they tended to be these sort of universal values of brotherhood and universal values of sisterhood, universal values of humanity.
Yeah.
So we came up with a universal declaration of human rights. In the UNESCO, they had a World Heritage Program. It wasn't going to be somebody's symbol, it was going to be the world symbol. So Taj Mahal was no longer just a place in India, it was for the whole, it was humanity's heritage. So we espoused a set of universal values. United States, by the way, even in terms of UNESCO, stood aside, and because we've had this sense of, well, wouldn't it become the UN symbol? This is an American symbol. And so we hesitated to join bodies like UNESCO for that very reason, that somehow we would be giving away our heritage. But
even though the liberal order is in part what brought the United Nations into being, well, the League of Nations and then the United Nations into being, correct?
Exactly.
Supported by American leaders of that era.
Exactly. We wouldn't have had a United Nations were it not for the United States. And the conferences started in Dumbarton Oaks, next door to now what is the White House in some ways, and it ended in San Francisco. UNESCO's preamble begins with, it's in the, since wars begin in the minds of men, it's in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be constructed. Those lines came from the US poet laureate Archibald MacLeish. And Clement Attlee, who was the Prime Minister of Britain at that time, borrowed Archibald MacLeish's words. So even UNESCO's preamble, the most famous words that anybody in UNESCO can recite, came from the United States, from a poet right here.